Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. So I have the fuel tank here. Pulled this out in the last video, and all I've done to it so far is just pressure washed it, got it all cleaned up, and now what I'm gonna start this video off with is just deleting all the evaporative stuff, because I also pulled the charcoal canister off. If you want to know what that is like, I will link in the description to another video that I did where I go through deleting the whole evaporative system as well as the charcoal canister itself. But for now, we are just going to start pulling off the lines that we don't need on this thing. And there is some bare metal exposed on the bottom, just on some spots where the undercoating just kind of got chipped off. So we'll hit it with a little bit of just like some rattle can paint to protect it. And then once that's all finished up, we can go mount this thing back up in the car. It's in pretty good shape, actually. A lot of the hoses and lines seem to be good to go. Nothing's really cracking. Some of the padding, there's like this, there's spots on the front here. I'll show you a close-up of where the pad, there's just this rubber like padding and the adhesive starting to peel. So I may just peel it all the way up and put some new adhesive down so that it is on there much more solid. Like this piece right here, this is what it looks like. It's this stuff. And as you can see, that thing's torn. So you wanna like make sure that that will stay on there so that it protects this. So for one, obviously this is what hooks to your fill neck. That's where the fuel enters into the tank. So you do not wanna mess with that hose at all. Right here, this clip, you can tell that this one goes up into the cabin of the car because it has the rubber grommet attached to it. And then over here on the other side of the tank, we have the three lines. You have the white or gray, the blue, and then I believe this is just supposed to be black. The blue on these cars is always the evap system, which matches the lines that go in here, the hard lines. Now, I've deleted that hard line because you don't need it if you are deleting your evap system. And so I pulled that out when we tore everything out of the interior. It was really easy to do. So basically, yeah, if you have the blue line here and you just follow that along, which on this one, it's this outside one here. You follow this along all the way over, comes out here. So it's obviously this one right there, ends up with a green stripe on it for some reason, for whatever reason. That line can just get deleted. You can snip these if you want or whatever and then pull that whole thing off. You will have to undo these clips here, so I would be careful because it's probably really hard to find replacements for that. And you definitely want these to be able to sit on there how they are intended to, because they are fuel lines. So yeah, we'll be taking that piece off, and then this line with the weird little branch sticking off, this is the one that you can basically take this whole piece off and then you hook a little filter to it and then just kind of zip tie it up under the body somewhere where it's secure and it won't get hit by a bunch of like water or debris or anything like that. Still gonna be the champ though. But these clips, if you just go really slow, they shouldn't break on you, but I make no promises. Whoa. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah. And just a little FYI here, guys, you don't need to pull the entire gas tank out of the car to do this mod. I mean, obviously, this wiring, you won't be able to tuck exactly like I just did, but there's definitely a way to make it work just fine with it up in the car. Although, if you don't know the history of your car, I definitely recommend it because you never know what it's gonna look like. Before I peel all these up, I'm just gonna go through, outline them all, just with a black Sharpie, just so I can be confident that they are going back in their proper OEM location. All right, so I just finished up refastening the little padded pieces of rubber here onto the tank. So now I'm just going to flip this thing over and we will hit it with a little bit of just rattle can paint and wait for it to dry, and then we'll throw it back in the car. Just a couple spots I'm gonna scuff up here. Another one right here. A couple more along the side. I just don't want this thing to rust, you know? Alright, I'm just gonna give it a little spritz. Okay, so while that paint is drying, I'm gonna get these brake lines cleaned up a little bit. I did pull this as well as all of the clips that hold it to the undercarriage before putting the Raptor liner down, because I didn't want to spray it over these. So let's get these cleaned up. These got to go in first before that can go back in anyways, otherwise we won't be able to fit them. So let me find all the clips and then I will show you how to reinstall this bad boy. All right guys, so I got the fuel lines all cleaned up and I have started to reinstall them. There's this little brass fitting right here and I just wanted to point it out because I took it off and cleaned it up, and part of the reason for that was because I wanted to push these hard lines up into the cabin so that I could mask that off before laying down the Raptor liner, and I wasn't sure how it fits back on here, so I just figured I would share what I figured out, which was once I dropped these back down from the cabin, I just hooked it onto this connector, and then it was really clear which side each one of these hard lines needed to fit in because it only fits one way. So I just kind of fit these up where they're supposed to go, and then it's pretty clear which hole. I think let's just throw this one in here and then get this out of the way like that. Something about making old stuff look new again. It's very satisfying. All right, let's get the gas tank reinstalled. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our refreshed fuel tank here. I already mounted up the straps, so we're good there. I'm gonna throw it on the creeper. Put it on down. All right, cool. She's in. All right, so I have the filler neck tube right here. just like everything else that's going back on this car, we have to clean it up first. So let's get it all scrubbed up and looking refreshed. And then we'll go throw it back on. And then I will be able to show you how it mounts. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you've never done it, sometimes it's nice to see someone do it. Monkey see, monkey do, right? All right, so I've decided to do something a little different with this filler neck tube. As you can see, I stripped it all the way down. It's got all this nasty like coating just on this one spot, and even though you really don't see this much, I just still think it's ugly and I don't want to put it back on the car like this. So what I'm gonna do, or what I've decided to do, is to powder coat this thing real quick. I could really use the practice powder coating because I'm still not that good and I'm still learning. So I may as well just see if we can just coat this thing before we reinstall it. If you watched some of my previous videos, you'll know that I powder coated some Brembo brake calipers in Spanish gold, and I have a little bit of that left over, so that's what we're gonna be doing this tube in, is Spanish gold. I know it's kind of silly because like you're not gonna see it, so why do like a color like that? Honestly, I would prefer to just do it in black, but I guess the whole point for me is to just put a coating on there that won't chip or break down over time and will be pretty much impervious to rust and things like that. And then we won't have this ugly coating right here either. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna try to powder coat this thing and just see what happens, see how it looks. All right guys, so I just finished scuffing up the filler neck, got it all cleaned up and masked off, and now we're gonna throw it in the oven for the pre-bake cycle. I'm still pretty new to powder coating, but as far as I can tell, the pre-bake cycle is just to outgas any like oils or other grease materials, things like that that might be on the metal, so that it will accept the powder afterwards. But if I have that wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. Yeah, let me grab this filler neck and let's toss it in there, and then I'll set a timer for about 20 minutes. Then we'll take it out and let it cool, and we'll lay down some powder. Let this fits in here. Oh yeah, money. Fits perfect. All right guys, so the pre-bake cycle is done and the part is cooled down now. Now what we do is we actually wait for it to get up to 400 degrees. So we check it with a little infrared thermometer. So I'll wait maybe like 10 minutes and then I will open up the door, shoot it, see where it's at. As soon as I do that and it's at 400 degrees, then we let it bake on for, I think, 20 minutes. Let me check actually. Prismatic powders is nice because they always put the bake time and temperature on the label of the packaging. So it's always on the bag, so you'll never forget. All right, let's check the temp real quick. Get a little sneak peek of the goods. Back there, it says 100. All right, we'll just start the temps now. Well, there it is, guys. My super baller looking filler neck tube. Definitely unnecessary, but like I said, I wanted some practice, and what better part to practice on than one that you really don't see much. So yeah, actually turned out really good. It laid down really flat. Yeah, it looks pretty damn good. That might be the best piece I've ever coated. Alright guys, let's get this amazing looking filler neck mounted back up on the car. So my camera battery died, unfortunately, while I was installing that filler neck tube, but I did get it all installed, and this is what it is looking like. Got the gas tank all hooked up to it, and all the other lines, and the little, even this plastic trim piece I got through the hole, and yeah, everything's all hooked up. Looks way too nice for what it is. It's pretty funny too, because it's actually going to get covered up with this crusty looking cover right here anyhow, but still, I think it was a great practice, and like I said, better to practice on something you don't really see very often in case I mess it up. So pretty happy with that. I do need to get that all cleaned up before we reinstall that, but we'll save that for another time because we have more important things to get to at this stage. Oh, and those pinch weld blocks did finally come in, as you can see, and I did end up finishing, like, straightening out this side. I'm definitely going to be doing some refinement to these pinch welds. This is not the final state of them by any means, but they're a huge improvement, and they're straight enough to use these blocks, and it actually gives the quick jacks a much better position, if you ask me, because as you can see, the base is much wider, and it's way easier to set them up because, you know, it's the same height here as it is back there, and so it's just easier to get them all lined up. Behind me here, I ended up installing a whiteboard in the garage, and that way we can kind of keep track of everything that needs to get done. And there's a lot, man. Let me just show you what I have put on this list. So undercarriage, bodywork, and paint, because these are the things that I'm focusing on right now. Obviously I will add to this in the next weeks. But yeah, right now I want to get all this stuff done. So we need to clean the front half of the undercarriage, sand any exposed metal, treat the metal with something that will prevent rust from spreading or continuing to grow, and then scuff it, give it a final clean, mask it off, and then spray that Raptor liner. And boy, will I be glad to be done with that stuff. It's easy to use, but it's just not very fun work, because I'm laying under the car, cleaning and scuffing and doing all that crap. It gets old. It's not that bad, but it does get old. So I'm definitely looking forward to moving on. And after that is complete, then we need to work on doing bodywork on this car. I've already tested some different sanding methods on this door right here. And initially I was going to be using this, it's like a polisher and sander. But apparently these go at a much more aggressive speed than this regular orbital sander. However, when I put the 220 on that, it started just taking it immediately down to the primer without even really pressing hard at all. So I kind of think that's a little too aggressive. Out here in this area is where I just used the orbital sander, and it seemed a lot more gentle, and so we'll probably be going that route. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get all the clear coat sanded down with just using the orbital sander with 220, and probably be able to do it fairly quickly as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump in. We're gonna get that all cleaned up under there, start scuffing it up, wire wheeling it, whatever it takes really, and then hopefully we'll have it ready to start spraying some Raptor soon. All right guys, so it is several days in the future, and as you can see, I'm finally done spraying that Raptor liner on the undercarriage, and this chassis looks really freaking nice. Really happy with it. Yeah, overall, it looks real nice. Real nice. So with that said, I'm going to move on to working on this body. I've already started sanding this door, and on this side I've removed the trim from around both windows here, as well as the trunk and wing, and we'll sand those off the car. I still need to remove these handles on this side, and then we have everything else on the passenger side to remove as well. Probably will take off the gas lid also and do that off the car as well. And so that way we can get the paint inside this piece. And then obviously we need to take care of this. I have a spare like vent, and so I just need to kind of straighten this piece out, and then we can reinstall that little vent piece there. And then all of this needs to get sanded down to the bare metal. And I'm gonna try to straighten it a little bit more. It's not perfect. It's not bad actually. It looks decent, but there's some spots where, like right here, there's a high spot that I need to like kind of tap in. And yeah, we just need to work on it and refine it a little bit more. And then we need to basically use some body filler. I think this is the only spot where I'm gonna have to use filler on this body. There's a little chip right there, so I might do like a little bit. This car looks like it was resprayed already at some point, because as you can see, there's like this sharp line. But I bet it was just this rear piece from when this was hit, because the paint does look a little different back here. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be grinding this down too, and probably using a little filler on that as well. But besides this quarter, I don't think that there's really any other spots on the main part of the body. This trunk, however, though, is a different story. Looking pretty rough underneath the wing here. Yeah, like extra hole here that they just put this silver tape over to seal it from like the elements. And I don't even know what that is. It's another one where it looks like they might have messed up. There's a weird gouge right here that didn't have anything going through it. These holes just look like they didn't get it right the first time, and so they had to move it out. Same with the one right there. Yeah, it's pretty odd. And then there's one like filled right here as well with who knows what, like panel bond or something. So yeah, I got some work to do on this trunk. I want to reuse it. I don't want to like get rid of it. Once we get the wing paint matched and reinstalled, I think it's gonna hide a lot of the work I do under here anyways. But yeah, like stuff like this though, I would rather just weld in some new like metal and make that flat again. Same with like this hole here and that other spot. I just want to do it right because I want this car to last. I don't ever plan on getting rid of it. So, but yeah, kind of unfortunate, but you know, not the end of the world. Definitely going to be running the wing on this build. So yeah, like I said, we'll be able to like hide anything that I can't get quite perfect. The good thing is though, is that the holes where the studs do mount, the wing is like lined up correctly. So it fits really well on there. So we just got to clean up the surrounding areas and clean up the holes that we do need. So that's what I'll probably be working on for, I would imagine, the next couple of weeks. The plan is to just sand down just to the base coat. That's what we're gonna do. It's just cheaper, less materials, less time, etc. So the only spot we're really gonna be priming is where we go down to bare metal. So yeah, I'm gonna try to knock this paint job out as efficiently as I can, but also I want this to be the most quality paint job I have done yet. And I am pretty confident that I will be able to pull that off. And if I can't, then I'll just redo it. Probably for real though, I will probably just start all over if it doesn't pan out and it doesn't look good. Because I want this car to look good. I know it's not the most important thing for your car to like look perfect, but you know, it's something that's important to me, and it will just bug me every time I look at it if it's not looking, if it doesn't look to like a certain standard that I want it to. So we're gonna try to get it done as best as possible. I got some new techniques I'm gonna test out beforehand with like my paint gun and my setup, just to see if I can get some more consistent results. That's all I got for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace, everybody.